Was Liam Payne's dealer slash friend the reason for his death? We got to talk about this, but before we get into it, hello, please let me introduce myself. My name is Sebastian, and I'm covering all things pop culture. I've, of course, been covering everything with Liam, and like I said in my previous videos, I just want to say thank you all for trusting me with this. I know that it has been very, very tough. Today is 1 month since we lost Liam, and their stories that have been out there have been completely disgusting. I feel like there's so many people handling this with such disrespect and cruelness and evilness and darkness that I'm so sad about how some people have just wanting to destroy Liam Payne when he's not here to defend himself. And I'm grateful that you've allowed me the opportunity to do it with the utmost respect and with light, and just wanting to get down to really what happened and giving you guys every single update that comes out with love. So I'm grateful that you trusted me with this. And if you are not following along, make sure you are following. There's a lot of updates that are coming out, and we will be talking about them, but as you guys know, with a lot of respect. Now, there's a new article that was sent to me over 100 times, which thank you guys so much for tagging me and sending me. I was told to just react to it blindly with you guys. I've never done that. Usually when I do my videos, I'm very, I do my research and I, outline everything I'm going to talk about, but we're going to read this together. So it says here how Liam Payne's friendship with this 24-year-old waiter may have led to his death, prosecutors say. Okay, so it says, let's just read it. Located on the waterfront in Puerto Madero, near Buenos Aires, glittering financial district, Cabana Las Lilas is a famed celebrity haunt that has counted tennis legend Roger Federer and French President Emmanuel Macron among its many delighted guests. The signature dish is a 1.3 kilo tomahawk steak of Argentinian beef, flambéed in cognac at the dinner's table and served with truffled potatoes, all for the pricely sum of 108 euros. Given the establishment's tendency to lure the rich and famous, staff working there on the night of October 2nd were unsurprised when a slightly disheveled-looking pop star, a baseball cap drawn tightly over his face, came to dine. Now, just right off the bat, why disheveled? Do you know what I mean? Like, why does the media always want to have a negative undertone when they speak about Liam Payne? I just will never understand that. You would think that Liam Payne, like, fucking pushed their grandmother down the stairs. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand what is it about the media and the like, it's like hatred. I don't understand it. Okay. But while his beautiful blonde girlfriend Kate Cassidy and their two so far unnamed companions tucked into a selection of the restaurant's famous grilled meats, he sat before his empty plate, agitated, distracted, and apparently under the influence of drugs. Again, what proof do they have that he was on drugs? Why do they have to keep on putting him down every chance that they get? Why? The Mail can now reveal that it was in the restaurant that night that former One Direction singer met a 24-year-old waiter by the name of Brian Nahuel Paz, kicking off an unlikely friendship that Argentinian prosecutors believed helped lead directly to the singer's tragic and untimely death just 2 weeks later. It is a story of secret Instagram accounts, cocktails of potentially deadly drugs, at least 3 separate encounters that took place between the two men, and even claims that Payne offered Paz his tracksuit bottoms and a t-shirt as mementos of their friendship. So just who is Brian Paz, who was charged last week by the National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office of Argentina, along with 2 other suspects for his alleged involvement in the multimillionaire's death? Exactly 1 month ago, on October 16, Liam, who was just 31, fell 46 feet from the 3rd floor balcony of room 10 in the Casa Sud Hotel in the upmarket Palermo district, where he had been staying for the previous 3 days as part of a 2-week trip to the South America capital. Among other things, he was there to see his former One Direction bandmate Niall Horan in a solo show at the 15,000 capacity movie star arena on October 2nd. The Mail has spent the past week building a picture of Bas, whose social media pages are replete with images of the fresh-faced would-be actor posing shirtless. Speaking to the Mail on condition of anonymity, one member of the waiting staff at Cabana Las Lias told us, "Brian was a good friend of mine. He was a cool guy, and he stayed at my home many times, but he had problems with cocaine. And now he's turned his phone off. No one working there has been able to contact him." Another colleague at the restaurant revealed that Bas used to drink at the Hard Rock Cafe after his shifts at Las Lias ended. They added he was extroverted, smiley, and rarely alone. Although Bas has apparently gone into hiding since Payne's death, refusing to speak to journalists, last weekend he gave a single brief interview to the Argentinian TV station Telef Noticias. According to Bas' account, Liam had asked the waiter for his contact details in the restaurant because he wanted to buy drugs. That evening, Bas claimed the pair exchanged messages over Instagram, with Payne using a private account operated under a discreet name. One can only imagine how Bas, who hails from a deprived suburb of Buenos Aires and who harbored his own dreams of fame, must have felt upon receiving the attentions of a global superstar. In this interview, Bas revealed, "He sent me messages because he wanted to do drugs. I think he was going to a concert or something. We swapped details and saw each other late that night." After visiting the restaurant, Payne apparently went to Niall Horan's gig, where he appeared in high spirits. After the show, he shared a selfie on social media alongside Horan with the caption, "Reunited." Later that night, Payne apparently summoned Bas to meet him at the Park Hyatt Palermo, a different hotel from the Casa Sud, where he was to die just 2 weeks later. Bas told Argentinian TV that Payne even came down to fetch him from the lobby after the young man got lost looking for the star's room. He added they just listened to some of Payne's unreleased music while sharing some whiskey shots. On the night of their second rendezvous, on October 13, 11 days after they first met, Bas admitted, "We took drugs together." By that stage, Liam's girlfriend Cassidy had unexpectedly left the country, more of which later. Bas and Payne's second meeting, of course, was at the fateful Casa Sud Hotel, where the singer would perish just 3 days later. In their extended drug session, Bas apparently smoked marijuana, while Payne consumed considerable quantities of cocaine. Footage leaked after the star's death shows a large variety of drugs paraphernalia in his suite, including crumbled pieces of burnt tinfoil, a lighter, and traces of white powder. It should be stressed that Bas had categorically denied supplying narcotics to the pop star, claiming, I never took drugs to him. I have messages where he's offering me money because he was apparently used to offering money for everything, but I never accepted anything." Nevertheless, the Argentinian Attorney General insists that Bas is responsible for distributing 2 clearly verified supplies of cocaine during 2 different times, seemingly his 2 visits to Payne's hotel. Another twist came from Bas when he said to Argentinian TV that the two shared an intimate moment on the night of October 13. "We spent the night together. We consumed drugs because the truth is something intimate had happened. He wasn't aggressive at all. He behaved really well with me. He was really sweet. He asked me if I was okay. I got all the messages where we arranged the second meeting. I haven't erased anything." Bas continues, "When I left, he wanted to give me some clothes so that I had a memory of being with him, but I left them behind because I didn't want to take them. It was some gray jogging bottoms and a t-shirt. Bas later clarified on Instagram, saying, "I never said I had sex with anyone." He then deleted the message. After their late night rendezvous on October 13, which had run into the early hours, Bas returned home only to text Payne again. I told Liam a best friend of mine wanted to meet him because he was a fan. The singer agreed and took a car to Bas' house that morning, October 14, 2 days later before he died. You're telling me that this guy told Liam that a friend wanted to meet him and Liam took a car to this guy's house to meet the friend? So he goes to his own meet and greets? Sorry. Okay. He appeared outside the place where I lived and managed to get halfway into the building and wanted us to go back to his hotel. But I told him I couldn't because I had to work. Bias revealed Payne got back in the car and left. That was the last time I saw him. Bias is said to believe to have grown up in Bersatagi, a working class district several miles south of the city center. He had a reputation for partying hard. Aldana, a childhood friend, says, Brian and I met at a rave 8 years ago. He was an outgoing boy who liked partying and taking ecstasy. Bias began his career as a hairstylist in the film business. However, he recently attempted to make it as a model and actor, supporting himself by waiting tables at Las Livas. The day after Liam's death, Bias posted 2 selfies taken with the singer alongside the caption, Fly High, Chief. Thank you for having enlightened me and for crossing into my reality. I will always remember you. See you on the other side. Okay. So we already know a lot of this information, right? I mean, there's some bits and pieces that we don't really know. But what I find so weird is that if he really is under investigation, how was he allowed to do that interview? Do you know what I mean? That's just a little bit weird. So the tender post was met with rage by Liam's fans, who apparently blamed him for supplying at least some of the drugs that helped lead to their idol's death. For now, Bas, along with a 21-year-old hotel worker named Ezekiel David Barreira, remains under investigation by the Argentinian authorities. He handed his passport in to the police and is waiting to hear whether prosecution will be brought before a judge. The third man accused is a millionaire energy tycoon and friend of Payne, Roger Rogelio Nors. Okay, so this is something very, very strange right here. So you guys remember how Roger Nors, Liam's friend, said that he actually was not being investigated? How come it's being reported that he is one of the 3 being investigated? That's why I'm saying that with this whole thing with Liam, there's just a lot of things that are just not making a lot of sense. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that just don't make sense. And that's the thing that I really, really, really don't understand. And then another thing, they're saying that he had been on a binge for weeks on end, but then in reality, it says here that he was to await his renewal of his visa. That's why he did not go back with his girlfriend, Kate Cassidy, and his application had been delayed while he underwent medical checks and drug tests, a necessity under U.S. immigration rules for anyone like Payne with a known history of abusing neurotics. And that allegedly 24 hours before he passed, he took the drug test and he was completely sober. So there's just so many different missing pieces here. And, a lot of this information we've already talked about. I didn't really see anything new in this article, if I'm being honest, just a little bit more of Brian's life. But, prior to this, we know that he was heavy on the partying. People that known him, we know, expressed that he loved to party. He loved to do drugs. He was, the talk of the town, and he was aspiring to be famous as well, to make it as an actor model. I think that there's a lot more to this. I don't think that he is innocent as he is saying. I think that this is something that is a lot bigger than we could imagine. And when I saw this man's interview, I could see in his eyes that he was full of something evil. And I will say that. And I do want to just clarify something. So I did want to clarify something, because a lot of people are talking about his autopsy and how he was allegedly filled with so many drugs. That's not the case. Liam Payne had cocaine, alcohol, and antidepressants in his system before his death. Toxicology report reveals. So this is the final one that came out the 7th of November, okay? From this report, we know for a fact that he did not, in fact, have all the other drugs that he had. It says, following the shocking sudden death of Liam last month, a toxicology report confirms that One Direction singer had traces of alcohol, cocaine, and a prescription antidepressant in his body in the moments before he fell from his 3-story hotel balcony. According to a statement issued by the National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office, Payne's body underwent complete toxicology reports on his urine, blood, and vitreous humor. I don't know what that is. His family had already been informed of the findings before the findings were made public. Initial reports suggested that pink cocaine and a mixture of ketamine and other illicit drugs was found in the system, though there's no mention of it in the statement. Right then and there, gives every single news outlet talking shit and coming up with their own, freaking theories and just horrible negative press surrounding Liam. That report right here, the official report and the official statement by the National Criminal and Correctional Prosecutor's Office should be enough for everyone who is reporting that he had all these illicit drugs in him to stop. This is the initial report that came out that Liam Payne had multiple drugs in his body at the time of death. This came just a couple of days after he passed. And that's why everyone was like, oh, he had that pink cocaine and he had this and he had that. This is what they wanted you to believe. And you guys know me, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but this is exactly what they want. They want to make him look so bad that everyone is like, well, of course, he died. You know what I mean? This was the original report. A partial autopsy found that the former One Directioner who died had multiple substances in his system when he fell to his death. Those substances including pink cocaine, a recreational drug that typically is a mix of several drugs including methamphetamine, ketamine, MDMA, and others, as well as cocaine and crack and all these crazy things. How come that's not in the official toxicology report? How come these reports came out a couple days after he passed? Does it not make you a little suspicious that these reports come out so it could make him look terrible and it can make him look a certain way and then it can make others look innocent so that they don't take the fall? That is what I'm saying, that there are so many missing pieces here. And that's why I'm sorry to say, but the Argentinian officials, in my opinion, are not doing enough. And I believe that Jeff and Liam's team needs to come and they need to do something about this. There's a lot of different, theories out there. But what my question is, how come, in my opinion, the hotel workers, the people who have spoken out that have anything to do with this establishment, and the 3 investigators always have to say that Liam is the bad one here? How come no one is taking responsibility? How come there's no CCTV cameras in the hotel? How come there's no evidence of Liam being so destructive and making all these freaking erratic, scenes in the lobby? How come there's no evidence of any of that? How come there's no evidence or CCTV of him in the balcony or him, destroying things in the lobby? How come there's no evidence of any of that? You're going to tell me that there's no evidence, but then we have to believe that the fans who were with him 40 minutes before he died are lying, saying that he was completely well and he wasn't acting erratic or anything. So make it make sense to me, please. I think that this person right here, this Brian guy, needs to be investigated. I think he needs to have a gag order so he doesn't speak out anymore, and he should only speak out to authorities. And I really do believe that Jeff and Liam's family and team, whenever they're ready, they should bring their own investigators as well, because there's something about the Argentinian investigators that I just don't trust. I said everything I had to say. What do you guys think about this? Please let me know in the comments below. Before I let you go, I wanted to leave you off with a letter that Liam Payne wrote to his 10-year-old self. It is very sad, but it really does show what a beautiful heart he had. And after all this toxic and evil and dark news and energy, I thought it would be really beautiful to leave it at that. So I love you all and enjoy Liam Payne speaking to his 10-year-old self.